What's up guys, welcome back. I'm going to dive straight into things on this one, so pay attention as we've got a lot to cover. We finally have more or less all of the character designs we need to make the first episode of our anime. Some are a bit out there, but we've got plenty to use, so we'll see how it goes. And here they are. Since the last episode, I've kicked off several aspects in parallel so that we can make faster progress. This includes finding voiceover artists, background design, animatic, animators, and so on. First up is the storyboarding. To do this, I reached out to a bunch of storyboard artists on Fiverr, asking them to sketch the first 5 frames of my shot list. Now, time was of the essence here, so there were quite a few designers that I'd have liked to work with, but they just couldn't deliver within such a short time frame. But I did manage to find 5 that I could work with. Macbeth Neil, this guy was great to work with, loved his enthusiasm and ready to deliver as fast as he could. The total cost for these 5 shots was $55, and I really liked his work, especially this market panoramic. The detailing is excellent, but it's just not the right style for me to share with an animator. That said, I definitely use him again for illustration work. Ludopbox, by far the most expensive, this came in at $140. The work is ideal for making an animatic. He's laid out each shot in sequence on a storyboard and even included arrows for the camera motion. He did fluff shot 5 as that's supposed to be a different character, but that just comes down to communication, and I'm sure he'd have changed it if I'd have asked. The downside here is that he's just too expensive for me. If I have to do 300 shots, I'm going to blow most of my budget without getting anywhere. Kathy Lentz, one of my most memorable. She was an absolute pleasure to work with. Super enthusiastic, great communication, and loves anime. In total, she charged me $55 for 5 shots, and her work was excellent. I would absolutely work with her again, and I may even reach out to her to illustrate the books. Farriman. This was an interesting one because he came recommended by another Fiverr artist that didn't have time to work on this. He charged $45 for the 5 shots and was one of my favourites. There were a couple of negatives here. 1, he didn't adhere to the character designs, and 2, the background setting doesn't fit the book. But to be honest, this didn't bother me because it could be rectified quite easily with better communication on my part, and at this stage of the process they only need to be rough sketches to define character movement and camera motion. I also really like that he includes a camera motion for each frame. He's definitely a contender for the next stage. That man. I saved the best for last, obviously. This one cost me $60 for 12 frames. Now that may have given him a bit of an unfair advantage, but he doesn't offer less than 12 frames, and on a frame by frame basis, it proved to be the best price. Again, his communication was excellent. He asked me a ton of questions before he even agreed to do the work, and he really took the time to understand what I was trying to achieve. As for the final result, I love it. One of the things we've got to be careful of here is that I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, and that makes it doubly hard for me to find someone, but it's also going to make it exponentially harder for the artists. So working in small batches makes the feedback loop a lot faster and prevents me from wasting much time and money going in the wrong direction. Working in small batches is a great way for you to operate in any aspect of business. The process itself was pioneered by Toyota in 1948 and is also known as lean manufacturing. The entrepreneurs amongst you may recognize this term from Eric Rye's Lean Startup, which is a great book, by the way. I've gone off on a tangent, but hey ho, it's back to work we go. Whilst I'm talking to animators about the animatic, it will be useful to have character voiceovers done. The animators will need to match certain keyframes to character speech in this story. Now, if you're an anime fan, I'm hoping like me you prefer to watch anime in traditional Japanese rather than those horrible dubs.
僕がキラーをやるのはありかい。お前を殺す。
If I see Killua and there's a chance, can I?
Hisoka, I will kill you.
And so I've decided I want my anime to be in Japanese. Alright, check it out guys, this is the perfect time to say that this video is sponsored by Fiverr, because I went looking for a Japanese voiceover artist to do this anime in Japanese, and guess where I found it? I didn't even expect to maybe find one, but there are over 90 on Fiverr's platform, and this is why I love using it. There are over 500 services available to you, and it is awesome. I've left a link in my description below for you to get up to $100 off on your first order, so go check it out and sign up to Fiverr.com, and make sure you do because they're sponsoring this series and they didn't have to, but they're awesome for doing so. Alright, so I've been through all of the voiceover artists and I found a few that I like, and I just realized that I need to translate my script to Japanese. Now, some of these guys and girls do offer Japanese translation services, but it's going to be incredibly inefficient, especially if I'm asking 2 or 3 people to voice the same character. I don't want to end up paying 3 times over for them to translate the same text. So I actually went on Fiverr and found someone to translate the Japanese. Now I've got back the voiceovers for one of our main characters, Tom, from 2 different voiceover artists, and I'm just going to share them with you in the video now so you can hear them against the character and tell me what you think in the comments below.
あなたは一体何者なんですか？先ほどのことは礼を言いますけど、
あそこに戻る手助けをしてくれたことは感謝する。でも、何をしたんだ？
I already know which one is my favorite just by listening to it. In my head, it matches right up to what I wanted the characters to sound like. So this is just perfect. And what I'm going to do is go back to her and get her to do a complete voiceover for the entire character. And yes, that's correct. This is actually a woman voicing over a child's voice, but it's bloody brilliant. I think you guys get it, so I don't need to drill it into you, but if you need to hire a freelancer for absolutely anything, check out Fiverr.com and use my link in the description down below, and we both get up to $100 free to spend on Fiverr gigs. That's all from me. Next episode I'll be sharing the animatic. It's going to be rad, so make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. I'm out of here! You enjoy that? Me too. Let's go, Few.